Hello and welcome to How to Make a Fighting Game in Godot using Spine Part 6. Here you have all the timeline that we are going to see in the video, and remember, just leave in a feedback, some kind of feedback like a thumbs up or just a comment. It's showing me that you are interested in the continuation of this tutorial, so I will be grateful if you do it. So let's continue with this tutorial. So first, let me remind you that we are using the new Spine Godot runtime. So if you haven't uploaded the project, one thing you can do is download the project or do it by yourself. I just left a video in the channel for you to know how to do it step by step, so please watch it. Now we are going to do something very simple. As you can see, sometimes when we dodge, let's see, okay, you see that the letters are cutted, right? So we need to do just a very simple thing. Let's go to the enemy scene, and in the enemy scene, let's go to the fight scene, sorry, and the enemy state text, let's make it bigger, okay? So in this way, we can move it a little bit from here. So in this way, we have all the text, we can see all the text that we need, okay? Let's see now. Yeah, you see? So it's just about this. Now, let's go, we are going to fix another small thing. Let's go to the player script. Let's make it bigger. And here we have something that for me could be more clear. Okay? For example, in this function on enemy is attacking, action. Okay, when I read this, we can just write enemy action here. So it's more readable and more understandable, right? Because the action can be from the player or can be from the enemy, but we want the action to be from the player. So let's just try to make our code readable. In this way, if we not read the script for a long time, it will be easier if we make these changes, okay? So now we are in the player script, and what we want to do is a very easy thing, okay? We just want to debug all the attacks of the player. And in order to do that, we just need to emit the signal each time the player attacks, okay? So how to do this? Very easy. We emit the same signal that we use when the player was dogging and when the player was receiving the attack, okay? So we do the same. How we do it? So as you can see here, we have our inputs, and we are going to create another line of code that it will be emit a signal. The name of the signal will be text state player change, and then we're going to tell which one in this case is the left jab, okay? Left jab attack. So this signal will be it will be sent to the fight scene, and in the fight scene, remember that we have a text that it will appear here, okay? So let's check it. You see, player left jab. So we just do the same with the others, okay? Let's just copy for all the attacks we have. For example, we are doing here a right jab. Okay, let's copy, and this is for the left hook. So let's put it player left hook, and this is for the right. Let's do it right hook. Okay, and this is for the uppercut. So we do the same. Uppercut, left uppercut, and we copy here, and we put it right uppercut. We don't want for the dodge, because remember that in the dodge we are checking if the player is dogging or not. So let's leave this for the moment. Maybe we can do another debug that appears when the player is doing the right dodge. But at the moment we are just checking if the player get a hit or not. Okay, so this is what we are doing. Let's save it and check if it's working right. Left jab, left hook, right hook, uppercut, and right uppercut, and left hook is perfect. You can put the P or NOS as you want, okay? So another thing that we want to do in the enemy script is to write the code that we were waiting in previous part now. Remember that this function is used and is activated when an event is a trigger in the animation. And if the enemy is not in the attacking zone, that means that the attack of the enemy is finished. Okay, so we want to debug also that, and we will write attack finish to understand that this is the moment when the attack, the possibility of getting hurt is finished. Okay, in order to do that, we need to make it a little bit more complicated, but you will see that it will be not that difficult. Okay, so we are going to create a signal, because what we want when we have this function, we want to emit a signal to the fight scene. Okay, in the fight scene we are going to change that text to the one what we want. So this signal we call enemy text. Let's write first text changed from enemy. Okay, and what does it mean? It means that we can change the fight scene text from the player or from the enemy, and we want this time to change it from the signal, we change it from the enemy, so we know where the signal is coming from. Okay, remember that a little bit of more writing doesn't hurt the code, and after you will be grateful for this, because it will be easier to read or to know from where this signal is coming from. Okay, now that we have created the signal, we need to call this scene. Okay, call this node. We need to call it. So we are going to make this node on the enemy, on the fight scene. Okay, and we will take the enemy. Okay, now in the ready function ready in the fight scene, we are going to connect enemy node, connect the one that we have created, that is text change from enemy signal, to self, means to this script, and to this function, that on text state player change. Okay, so now what we want to do is to emit that signal now that is connected. So let's go back to the enemy scene with the enemy script, and let's go to that function, and here we're going to emit that signal. That is where it will be text change from enemy, and we are going to add the string that we want, that it will be attack finish. So in theory, let's see if it's working. Every time one enemy attack is finished, we will see in the debug text. Okay, let's see. So the enemy is attacking, and then nothing happens. Let me see what is happening here. We have error calendar method not found. Let me see what is happening. Text state player channel. You can see how you must like be very precise about what you are doing. As you can see here, I left a space, and this is getting the problem. Okay, so I'm happy that this problem arose because I think we can learn from these mistakes. Let's see it again. Now it should be working. So attack finish and attack finish. Okay, so that's great. Don't forget to write literally the name on the function and check this kind of things when you are writing strings. Okay, so now let's do something very cool. When we are talking, we are moving the mouse, okay? And there could be one moment that when we are talking, we are sending the mouse out of the screen limits, okay? And we don't want this. We don't need this, okay? Because with coding, something that we can do is to send the mouse to a place, okay, to a position. And this is what we are going to do every time we attack. When the player attacks, because we don't need to use the mouse, okay, we are going to send the location of the mouse here. It's like some kind of reset, okay? So the player, when he start to dog again, he start in this position. It's a small fix. Let's try to do it that way. We are going to put the point just about here, more or less, okay? So let's do it. So in the main node, let's go to the player scene, and in the player scene, let's create Control A. Let's create a point, okay? A position to the position 2D. I forgot how to call. This position 2D will be the mouse position, okay? Let's call it like this, mouse position. And the mouse position will be more or less, you can put it here, okay? We don't need to be like very precise about this. Now that we have this, let's call the node. So on ready bar, let's put mouse position center, okay, and let's say that this is position 2D, and let's take it mouse position, okay? So now we are calling this node mouse position. And now here we are going to create a function that will be called mouse back to center, okay? In this function, we are going to first create a local variable of the position, and here we want to set the position of this to the position, okay? So we get the viewport transform multiply by the mouse position center global position. And this position is the way to say, okay, just move here. So in order to work as we want, we need the mouse position in order to appear in the screen in the position that we want. Don't forget to add get viewport transfer, and then the mouse position global position that we put, okay, in the node. So now we're going to say, okay, the input is gonna warp in the mouse position, okay, and in what position? The one that we have set. Position. Okay, so this is the function. As you can see, very easy, the function mouse back to center. Now, where we are going to put this function? Very easy, every time we have an input. For example, here, hook, we want the mouse back to center, and when we press the uppercut, we want also the mouse back to center. Of course, we can just make a better solution to only use once, but because we are just doing the rough project, it's okay to do it like this. So let's check it. So, okay, I'm moving my mouse and then I'm attacking. As you can see, it moves to the center. If I'm attacking, it's moved to the center. And if I'm attacking, it moves to the center. But it seems that, okay, it seems that, yes, it's working fine. So that's great.